Clowns are going extinct. The US Clown Association reported a long-term membership drop and fewer circuit slots. Imagine sitting at the dinner table. Everyone's having fun, your parents are just eating, you're just having a normal day, right? And then out of nowhere, you decide to drop the bombshell. Mom, Dad, I think I want to be a clown. Now let that sink in. Now the most likely reaction that's going to happen is that they're going to dismiss that idea. They're going to call it silly, impractical, or just crazy, right? And that's, in a world obsessed with stability, choosing the unpredictable can almost feel rebellious. And that's exactly why when we have the random urge to do something completely random, we are so quick to dismiss it. Today, adults pressure all of us into making the right career choices, correct? And that's exactly why when we have the urge to do something completely random, we dismiss it. And this unconventional interest disguises itself as a complete waste of time. But what if I tell you that doesn't have to be the case? Now look, what if I tell you your soap carving, your toe wrestling, your yo-yo tricking, or even your gloving can turn you into a billionaire? I mean, that's crazy, right? But we've seen instances like this take place that turned an average career into a spectacular one. Now let me give you an example. Steve Jobs, father of one of the most integral parts of your life, was actually a college dropout. Steve Jobs dropped out of college and went on to become one of the greatest billionaires in the world, right? The man who achieved the pinnacle of success actually took a path that's quite different from what is conventionally viewed as the most correct way to success. But I'm not here to really promote dropping out of college. I mean, that's the argument that everyone who sells expensive courses really push out to you, right? I'm here to talk about what he did after dropping out of college. Now you see, after dropping out of college, Steve Jobs, he decided to enroll in a calligraphy class. I mean, you might be wondering, Steve Jobs, calligraphy class? I mean, it has nothing to do with computer science, and let me get back to that later. Well, we all know after he would come on to build the Macintosh computer, which, yes, arguably, it was easily, ahead of its time. But the thing about technology is that it evolves very fast, right? No man could possibly keep up with the pace that technology is evolving. But look around us. Everyone still has the iPhone. Everyone has MacBooks. So why exactly is that? And that's exactly where the calligraphy class comes into play. In the calligraphy class, Steve Jobs learned about typography and sans serif fonts, things that really seem useless, at first glance, but he was able to implement these skills into the Macintosh computer and make it stand out compared to every other technological devices back then. And that is exactly the quiet magic of trying something new. When Steve Jobs allowed himself to step into the unknown, really try something new, he was essentially collecting dots that he didn't even know were going to connect later. Now, I myself, I don't have a billion-dollar tech company, and I'm not going bald anytime soon, but I also have a little success story to share myself, which, let me get to that. So in 6th grade, I decided to start a gaming YouTube channel. So I'm sure a lot of us had something similar like this, some phase they're ashamed to really admit about, too embarrassed to really unearth those memories, but I've learned to appreciate mine and even make use of it. Now, let me give you a little context. Now, in 6th grade, I started this gaming channel, and it grew to what? Gargantuan heights, about 24 views per month. That's insane, right? So much views, right? Now, despite how silly it was, the time commitment was no joke. So 5 hours of gaming into 3 hours of video editing, my silly hobby began to turn into a full-time job. And as you can imagine, my grade point average, took its toll on this, and it began to look like my average view count with a little decimal point in the middle, 2.4. Well, before I got grounded, this whole shenanigan, came to an end. But it wasn't a waste of time because this skill came back to me in the most unexpected way possible. You see, the best way to really get that view going, get that attention, get people's attention was through a technique called clickbaiting. That's right. I'm sure a lot of us know what clickbaiting is. And maybe even you know what it feels like to get clickbaited because we're all active on social media, correct? Well, there's just something so appealing about these photos that it just really siphons your attention. It really wants you to click on it even though there's nothing good on the other side. It's probably a boring video, correct? Well, this is exactly how I decided to run my student council campaign. Now, I've been in high school for so many years now, and I've seen so many student council campaigns come and go. And the thing about these campaigns is that they plaster their posters all around school, and they push out their campaign, but the truth is, nobody cares, right? And I was one of them. I looked at these posters, and I walked away. So the best thing I could do was really capture their attention. That's the best I could do. So I decided to do this. I plastered all of this poster all around school, and guess what? It worked. I'm currently the vice president of student council, and I could confidently say that if it weren't for the 20 extra votes that I got from people just thinking this was funny, then maybe I won't be here today. Now, the lesson isn't that everyone should abandon practicality and just chase their crazy idea. I mean, reason and logic are really the reason that we're alive today, right? But it's that unconventional interest often plants seeds whose value only becomes visible years later. What seems like a complete waste of time today may be the exact thing that makes you stand apart from everyone else tomorrow. So the next time you have the itch or the urge to just do something completely random, don't be so quick to dismiss it, because you might just be collecting dots that you don't even know are going to connect later. Thank you.